From MontanaSports.com, this is MTN Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to another special edition of Sports Extra on a Saturday night. Thanks for joining us. Well, on Christmas Day, we shared some of our favorite stories of the year as chosen by the team at MTN Sports. And tonight we continue our look back at 2024 with more of our best work. These are not the biggest or the most notable stories, but rather the ones that stuck with us long after they aired on television. We begin with MTN's Derek Joseph in Stevensville, where a team and community rally after the unthinkable loss of a leader.
The town of Stevensville is home to one of the top boys soccer programs in the state this year. But things took an unexpected turn after the team's third game this season as longtime coach and mentor Ralph Surrett passed away.
Kind of just a moment of realization that he wasn't going to show up anymore. He wasn't going to be there to lead the team, and kind of just hit really hard for everyone.
For the first time in program history, the town's soccer pioneer would not be on the sidelines.
For him to not be here is a challenge for everyone. He meant so much to everybody with everything he's done. You know, he's started soccer here 34 years ago and built these fields we're standing on, you know, from I think it was just dirt and rocks when he started.
And that has become the team's inspiration to get back on the field.
He would be mad if we weren't practicing and getting after it, you know, so that's kind of how we viewed it and just kept pushing forward. What we're doing, we're training hard and we're focused on what we need to do the next couple weeks. So, and we're you know, pushing towards that goal in memory of Ralph and, you know, show him what he's accomplished the last 30 years here in Stevensville with high school soccer and Sabres, of course.
When Surrett came to Stevensville over 30 years ago, he along with volunteers built the Stevensville Soccer Complex, which his players say serves as a constant reminder that their coach is still with them in spirit.
We like to say that this is the best field in all of Montana and maybe all of America, because it was just made by Ralph and his hands and all the people that gave him support, and we come out here and we work hard for him and make it so it wasn't all in vain, you know.
Surrett never had any kids of his own, but he had his own family on the pitch. Daniel Pendergast, a former player and current coach of Stevensville, says Surrett's favorite thing was developing young players even if they had no knowledge of the game.
He never cut a player. He always knew that if he did that, you know, it kind of sends a bad message to the rest of the, you know, team and just people that are going to come and try out. So he never cut anyone, and he's made good players that way too. So yeah, just a selfless guy, especially in his coaching style, and just down to the little things like tactics and technique, he was just really good about.
Even with his style of coaching, Surrett had high expectations for his team, and in his absence, the players still have that mindset.
Oh man, Ralph hated losing. That's one thing about that guy. He just loves winning, and so we're going to come out here and we're going to do everything and anything we can do to win. That's always his mindset.
And with playoffs already started, this year winning means winning it all for a coach who never won a championship himself.
Ralph's goal, of course, was to achieve a state championship, and so we want to honor him that way and play hard everything we do every day, you know, nutrition, everything, training, we're going 100%, we're going hard everything we do so we can succeed in that and still get him that win.
In Stevensville, I'm Derek Joseph, MTN Sports.
Alec Boffinger's favorite story from 2024 focused in on Joliet's Waylon Ward, who battles Batten's disease, a rare disease that affects the central nervous system. Alec chose this piece because he loves to share stories of perseverance, and Waylon shows that in spades. He lost his sight about a decade ago, but he attracts all eyes in the gym with his passion for Jayhawk athletics.
Joliet's Ward family has been dealt some curveballs through the years. Hal and Janice are parents to 5 boys, though the eldest Trey passed away in 2017 from Batten's disease. Their youngest Waylon also has been diagnosed with Batten's disease, which can attack cognitive development, vision impairments, and cause epilepsy. Waylon hasn't had his sight since he was about 5 years old, but he can still see things such as Christmas lights and fireworks via peripheral vision. He's really your normal 15-year-old who loves going to school and singing Taylor Swift, but he's also quite the prankster.
Waylon has a special note at the Carbon County Sheriff's Department. They always know when Waylon's checking in. What do you do at school?
Thought machine.
Basically, someone is always in on it with Waylon, and they basically strap it to a chair behind a book or on a desk or somewhere. And when Waylon walks through the halls, he can push a button in his pocket and the fart machine will go off.
During Jayhawk sporting events, Waylon is likely to be found igniting the Joliet faithful alongside cheerleaders, or even singing the national anthem. To say he's become quite popular may be an understatement.
We have made that a priority where he's with his peers basically, and he is a real celebrity at school. Like if Waylon's missing, they're always wondering what's going on or where he is or what he's doing. The school does an amazing job. They really do a good job with him.
Janice has high praise for the kids and families in Joliet that have surrounded the Ward family with love through the years. She believes the lives of Trey and Waylon have also impacted her sons Gunnar, Hayden, and Grady in a profoundly positive way.
With them being exposed to Trey and dealing with the hardest part of the whole thing, they actually have fun enjoying or dealing and spending time with Waylon now because they know the future as well. And I am positive that it's going to make them really good fathers and husbands because this is hard. This isn't easy every day. And so I think they have been molded to be really good mentors, and Waylon's helped them with that.
Janice says the progression of Waylon's condition isn't nearly as fast as Trey, who Joliet now has a memorial scholarship for, and that Waylon will continue to be the life of the party around Jayhawk athletics. For MTN Sports, I'm Alec Boffinger.
Still to come, a story that lives at the intersection of sports, business, and entertainment, and how a campus community pulled off an impressive undertaking.
MTN Sports Extra continues after this. Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
Welcome back. Washington Grizzly Stadium is mostly known as the home to the Montana football team, but for 10 days in August, it played host to some of the biggest names in music. MTN's Kyle Hansen chose this as his favorite story because it showed how a relatively small town like Missoula was able to flex its muscles and pull off a truly remarkable undertaking.
Well, typically this place is the mecca of FCS football, but right now for this upcoming week, it really is the Concert City USA here in Missoula, Montana at Washington Grizzly Stadium. As in 10 days, there's going to be 4 major events here, starting with 3 concerts and of course, the Grizzly home opener.
This series of concerts is like a football game, supersized.
That couldn't ring more true, as starting Thursday, Washington Grizzly Stadium will bring in recurring guest in Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Pearl Jam to kick off an insane 10-day run at the venue. Country star Tyler Childers will follow soon after on Saturday, and that will lead up to the grand performance that is expected from Pink next Wednesday, with the opening Grizz football game slated for Saturday the 31st to cap off this run.
This is really following along with President Bodner's charge to make sure that we're utilizing these facilities that we have and this entertainment hub that we have with Grizzly Athletics and Stadium and the Adams Center. We're maximizing what those are.
And there's strategy behind it too. While it's going to be a tall task and heavy load, setting up the base layer stage for 3 shows versus just 1 limits the cost on the university, allowing UM to generate more revenue in holding these 3 extra events.
But the stadium's proven to be a place where great acts can come and perform and generate the revenue that they want to generate, and also spend some time in Western Montana. Having 3, that's a lot. That'll do a lot to people who are working behind the scenes, but only having to set up the stage 1 time and then having 3 concerts is really financially much more viable.
It really is a 24/7 process, and as soon as the Pearl Jam concert is over, they're going to start the load-out process, and then Tyler Childers arrives from their show at the Gorge the next day basically, and they start moving things in, and then luckily there's a few more days until the Pink concert because that's going to be a major move in.
Logistically, to say it's complicated is drastically understating it. Floor installation began on August 15th, and teams have been working around the clock since to set up. Pearl Jam will bring 25 tour trucks with them for Thursday's show. Tyler Childers will follow with a slightly lighter load of 15 trucks and 10 buses for Saturday's event. Then, the all-hands-on-deck operation must go above and beyond even more for Pink, who is bringing 35 trucks, 19 buses, and is using 20-plus spaces in the Adams Center for prep. After that, it's a quick 2-day turnaround for the first Grizz football game of the season. There will be 200 to 300 people selling beer at these events, and about 150 to 200 security staff will be used for this, on top of hundreds who are helping put the facility together. And while there's no official costs out yet, the school is hoping to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars from staging them. That money will come from all kinds of negotiated areas, from renting the facilities to beer, concessions, parking, tickets, and more.
It's just a massive amount of people. You know, for a football game, we have 3 buses, 1 truck. And so to have 35 trucks on campus, the hard part for Grizzly Athletics is just finding out where they're going to park, what time they're going to come in, how they're going to come in, what route they're taking, and how long it takes them to unload and reload, that kind of thing.
Not to mention the ancillary benefits that UM will receive from people drawn to campus and seeing what they offer, and the fervor it will all add to campus life now that the students are moving back in.
This is a great thing to do. It's fun for our students, fun for the community, brings folks into town, but 2, it really helps the university out from a financial perspective to be able to build a stage once, have the 3 big shows, then go on to normal operations after that.
UM will use a new security system exactly like the one used at the FCS National Championship in Frisco, and will also implement that during the football season. Parking will be limited, with the school encouraging folks to walk or use public transportation. And also, thanks to the new indoor practice facility being installed and the South Campus fields, the athletic teams, especially football, will be able to continue to prep for their upcoming seasons with everything underway.
I mean, our primary business, for lack of a better word, is an athletic department and athletic events, volleyball, soccer, and then football certainly is our largest revenue generator. So we can't put those things in jeopardy. We can't do that.
It's going to be a wild week and a half in Missoula as Washington Grizzlies Stadium serves as an epicenter to cap off the summer with a bang.
One of the things that really makes UM special is our vibrancy. You know, we're a campus here that's tucked away with the mountain and the river and all the outdoor spaces, but we're also the cultural capital of Montana, and to be able to bring in 3 shows and 3 diverse shows. It really provides all of our students, whatever their genre of music is, an opportunity to participate in the shows.
This town's in for a big party, and so we're just super happy to be a part of it, honestly. We want the university to be part of the community and to be hosting these great events and providing the entertainment options for the community is just such an awesome experience for everybody, especially in Grizzly Athletics, because that's what we do. We host the community.
Reporting in Missoula, Kyle Hansen, MTN News.
Still to come, an unlikely bond between an NBA Hall of Famer and a Great Falls 7-year-old leads to an unforgettable moment. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with more MTN Sports Extra. Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
Well, now it's time for me to share my favorite story. Early in 2024, we shared the story of Weston Lee, a 7-year-old boy from Great Falls with a condition called 18q deletion syndrome, which led to hearing impairment, muscle weakness, and delays in language and communication. He played his first year of organized basketball, and after some initial struggles, he started to thrive with an underhanded shooting style popularized by NBA Hall of Famer Rick Barry. Here's what happened next. Recently, Weston scored his first basket in a game. His story caught the attention of folks in the area, including the University of Providence, which held a special ceremony on Saturday for Weston and his teammates, where they made them honorary Argos.
Does it feel good? Real good.
Weston's story also caught the attention of a certain legendary basketball player.
Barry down court, pass and a basket.
Rick Barry himself.
You know, I've been blessed with, so many children, and they've all been healthy, and I'm very blessed in that regard. And when you get any child who has a love for the game that's been so good to me, it's great, and especially when you start talking about the underhanded free throw, obviously, which is kind of special to me as well. I think that was great. Weston's coaches reached out to Barry, and he responded by sending an autographed photo with words of encouragement, leaving the Lee family speechless.
It's undescribable to see how the communities come together and to reach out to Rick Barry, and for him to take the time to do something like that for my son it's a blessing. It's priceless. We're going to remember this moment for the rest of our lives.
Barry said he was inspired by Weston's determination and love for the game, and by the way his teammates embrace his differences.
Stuff like that is just so heartwarming to see the caring that people have for other people. I mean, they don't want your pity. They want your love. They want your compassion. They want your help and your assistance, and be there for them and help them as much as you possibly can. And so anytime you can do something to, I think, nurture a young child, to give them something to get excited about, to encourage them in any way possible, I'm always for that.
In a world where you can choose anything, this is further proof that it's always best to choose kindness.
Well, the rise and fall of Great Falls native Ryan Leaf is well known, but when we come back, we'll show you how he's giving back to some of the folks who shared his struggles. Stay with us.
MTN Sports Extra continues after this. Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
Former Great Falls CMR quarterback Ryan Leaf is known as the biggest draft bust in NFL history, but after hitting rock bottom in prison, his second act has been inspiring. Back in July, Leaf returned to the same Montana State prison he'd spent years of his life in for a much different reason. MTN's Johnny Walker was there and shares this as his favorite story.
I used to think that the only way for your life to get better is it had to be about you.
If you told Ryan Leaf 10 years ago that the next time he'd be back in Montana State Prison wouldn't be as a prisoner, but as a guest speaker, well...
You're nuts. Like, you're crazy. What? You know my story. Like, does that sound any bit true? No.
But the unlikely story is now the true story. The man once convicted on felony drug and burglary charges now speaks hope into the lives of prisoners trapped within the same cycles of addiction that once plagued him.
I think it helps for me to step in that room and tell them that I relate and can identify with them probably better than anybody out in the public, that I was exactly where they were 10 years ago. And you can have the life of your dreams. You know, you have to do the next right thing. And when you do mess up, own it.
The three things that I tell him that he can control simply are his attitude, his behavior, and his effort.
A key part of Ryan's story, the belief that people shouldn't let themselves be defined by the worst thing they've done, something that seemed to resonate with every inmate.
My decision 5 years ago that brought me here, my actions, is not the end of my story, just as his actions 10 years ago is not the end of his.
Now, Ryan's appearance was part of Montana State Prison's The Last Mile program, which has equipped these inmates with employable computer programming skills that should translate to the job market on the outside.
I want to get into data science and machine learning. I think we have access to so much technology, and this is just giving me a launch pad to start learning the foundational concepts for that. And hopefully, have a new chapter in my life that doesn't involve prison.
I'm going to tell you right now, the hardest thing for us when we walk out is hope. And this is what The Last Mile presents. It presents a semblance of hope for these young men.
Well, that's all our time tonight for this edition of Sports Extra. As always, the conversation continues online at MontanaSports.com, where we're gearing up for Montana State's run at an FCS National Championship in Frisco, Texas, a rematch with North Dakota State in the title game. But until then, have a great night, have a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2025.